Today has been an awesome day. I remembered I had this big old crescent wrench, so I took this and I put it around the shaft where that bearing was and tapped on it with a rubber mallet and was able to get the bearing off. And I turned my attention to getting the bearings out of here, out of the headstock. And what I came up with is I used a deep socket, came through, and I pushed that bearing out that away, and it knocked that little dust cap off. And then I took a screwdriver and knocked out the other little cap on that part. So this is ready to go into the evaporust along with the spindle. Well, here's everything in the evaporust, and I even put that crescent wrench in there to try to displace some of it to cover up the top, but it wasn't quite there. So I got a couple of things in there, and what I'm going to do is let it sit in there for a few hours and then flip it upside down and see what we get. Also, here's the door. I got the door cleaned up with the electrolysis tank. Cleaned it up nicely. Just a little bit of surface rust in here, but it cleaned up pretty doggone nice. Can't wait to be able to paint this. Guys, this evaporust stuff is crazy good. Just dip that in there and look at what you get when you get done. I had already electrolyzed this and got most of the stuff off of there, but this is what the kind of stuff it looks like before. This is after the evaporust. So this is the last part I got to tackle, which is the thing that puts the pulleys on there and engages it. So I gotta try to take that apart and clean it up. Alright, looks like it's time to start getting this thing back together, just the parts that I've done. So here we go. Well, before I get everything back together, these look pretty good out of the electrolysis tank, but with that evaporust it can be better. So what I'm going to do is evaporust these and the screws that put everything back together before I get it back together. Check it out, kids. Look at the difference the legs are as opposed to the bed. The bed was electrolysis. The legs were done with evaporust. Evaporust rocks. Well, I got the legs back on. Got that flat gear back on. I forget what that thing is called. And now I'm going to try to get I'm going to go ahead and put on the headstock. However, it doesn't have the guts in it. So let's get that on there. Here are the bearings that are going to go on there. I've got them cleaned up and got the oil off. I'm going to put this in the oven at 450, and we got the spindle in the freezer. Hopefully I can get those pressed back on there without needing to press. Alright, here's the bearings. Let's give it a shot. Hey, it did it. It worked. Okay, got it on the shaft, guys. Alright, so bearings are on. Now let's see see if I can get the rest of this stuff going. Woohoo! Didn't need a press. Awesome. Alright, today I'm going to install all the guts into this headstock. These little caps on here, the dust covers, are very, very hard to fit in there, almost like a press fit. So I'm going to try to ice them up. I brought some ice down here and get those in there and get this headstock back together. Now I had showed how clean they got all this stuff with the mineral spirits, but check out what the evaporust, sitting in some evaporust, looks brand new, guys. The ice worked, guys. I just put a little ice on there, let them cool off, and these dust covers popped right in. Now hopefully the rest of this headstock will go together that easily. Alright, I got the bearings lubed up and put the little keyway in there And now we're going to put the bull gear on first. And the biggest thing I've seen people say do is don't forget to put on the belt. So we'll put this on second. Get this belt. And yes, I got a new belt. Put the belt on next. Come on, man. Alright, we'll do it like that. Old school. Force it. Okay. And that slides on there. And we got one more piece to go in there. I got to go pull that out of the evaporust, so I'll grab that. Here's that last little spacer part. So we got the bull gear, the pulley, and the spacer is going to go on here. Now remember that keyway that I broke on the way out? I know I have to do some aligning to get it to go in, and so there's a little spot for that, and I'm going to do it right this time. I'm not going to break it. Okay, so I'll get this slid in here. I'll show you how we tighten it up. Well, that's all taken care of. I just got to throw a couple of set screws back in a couple spots here. But right down in there, that little thing that I bent up, I left it off. It's a dust cover for the bearing. I had to leave that off of there because it was rubbing, and I'm not exactly sure why. But this is just the assembly of the lathe. See how it functions. It's going to be torn down again to be painted in the spring. Voila, guys! The front gear is on, and spindle that is, and now I'm going to put on the back gear. Don't forget to put the gear in and around the belt like that. Having a little bit of trouble with that where the set screw, where there is a little raise up, how it puts a little indentation, raises the metal, so I'm going to file that down, make it easy to go in.